There's Mike. Vamos. Grabe, ha?
Let's go.
100 million people inspiring them.
Oh.
Grabe.
Match. William Alex!
Breaking, Alex Eala's mother breaks down in tears on live television. The heartbreaking reality behind her daughter's stunning loss is finally revealed. Welcome back to Court Vision Plus, your top destination for the most raw, uncensored tennis news from across the world. If you are just tuning in, I need you to pause everything you are doing right now, because what I am about to share has sent shockwaves through the global tennis community and left millions of Filipino supporters completely heartbroken. Just moments ago, what was expected to be a standard post-match press conference transformed into one of the most painful, emotionally intense moments in Philippine sports history. We have seen Alex Eala overcome the impossible. We have celebrated her landmark achievements. We have watched her face defeat with poise and respect. But what unfolded today was something no one could have anticipated. Riza Manuela, the woman who has been the foundation of Alex's rapid rise to fame, the mother who gave up everything to help her daughter become the first Filipina to enter the WTA Top 50, stood in front of the cameras and utterly collapsed. With tears pouring down her face and her voice shaking with emotion, she spoke words that stunned the entire nation. "I'm sorry to all of you. Why would a mother who raised a champion feel the need to apologize?" What truth has the Eala family kept hidden from the public? What was Alex Eala truly battling when she stepped onto that court? And why did no one know until now? Today we are taking a deep dive into this explosive story. We are going to reveal the unseen struggle that Alex Eala was enduring while millions watched her compete, completely unaware of the silent battle taking place behind those focused eyes. This is no longer just about tennis, everyone. This is about the harsh human cost of carrying a nation's expectations. This is about a young woman pushed to her absolute limit. And this is about a mother's love colliding with the unforgiving demands of professional sports. You need to hear every single word of this story. Let's begin. To fully grasp the significance of what just occurred inside that emotionally charged press room, we must rewind and examine the match itself. The build-up to this tournament was intense. Alexa, the pride of the Philippines, the teenager who dominated the US Open Juniors, the rising sensation who has been breaking records and smashing barriers, was expected to deliver yet another standout performance. The pressure was overwhelming. Every time Alex steps onto a tennis court, she's not only playing for herself. She carries the hopes and dreams of more than 100 million Filipinos on her shoulders. When the match started, something immediately felt off. Fans who have followed Alex's journey from the very beginning, who know every detail of her playing style, noticed it right away. That familiar fire in her eyes, that warrior mentality that earned her the nickname the Battle of Manila, was completely absent. Her normally explosive movement around the court appeared heavy, strained, and almost painful to watch. There was an unfamiliar hesitation in her swing, a dark cloud over her entire presence that could not be ignored. Her ground strokes, usually sharp and aggressive, kept landing short. Her serve, which had reached impressive speeds in recent victories, lacked its normal power. Her footwork, music typically sharp and deliberate, seemed off by critical inches. Tennis is a game of millimeters and split seconds, and Alex looked as though she was always one step late, stuck in slow motion while her opponent played at full speed. As the match continued, things only worsened. Point after point slipped away. Games that should have been closely contested turned into blowouts. The scoreboard told a story no one wanted to see. When the final point was played and the crushing loss became official, the silence inside the arena was overwhelming. It wasn't just disappointment filling the air. It was confusion. It was disbelief. It was a shared feeling that something was deeply wrong. Within moments, social media erupted. Reactions flooded in from all corners of the internet. What is happening to Alex? Is she hurt? Why is she playing like this? This is not the Alex Eala we know. Armchair analysts came out in force, typing relentlessly. Critics, as they always do when a champion falters, began sharpening their attacks. They labeled it a collapse. They questioned her mental strength. They criticized her preparation. They claimed she wasn't ready for the spotlight. Some even went as far as saying she was overrated, that the excitement around her was unwarranted. But while the online court of public opinion was busy judging, while fans vented their anger and disappointment, an entirely different drama was unfolding behind the scenes. A truth was about to surface that would silence every critic, make every cruel remark seem heartless, and completely change how we understand what happened on that court. Just minutes ago, Riza walked into the press conference room. Under normal circumstances, Riza is the embodiment of strength and composure. She is the steady figure in the player's box, the calm amid chaos, the anchor Alex relies on when the pressure becomes overwhelming. Throughout Alex's career, Riza has handled the media with class and professionalism, always shielding her daughter while supporting her ambitions. But today was entirely different. The woman who approached that microphone was not the composed tennis mother the world was used to seeing. This was a mother in anguish. Her eyes were clearly red and swollen. Her hands were shaking. her voice when she finally spoke cracked with barely contained emotion. She did not begin with standard post-match commentary. She did not talk about unforced errors or breakpoint statistics. She did not offer excuses about court conditions or the strength of the opponent. Instead, Riza Manuela stared straight into the camera. She looked beyond the reporters in the room, beyond the tennis officials, and addressed the millions of Filipino fans who had invested their hearts and souls into her daughter's career. And then she spoke the words that brought the entire nation to a standstill. "I'm sorry to all of you." The room fell into complete silence. You could hear a pin drop. Reporters who had been flipping through notes stopped cold. Cameras tightened their focus. Everyone leaned in, sensing that something historic was about to come out. And then the explanation followed, and it changed everything. According to Riza, her daughter Alex stepped onto that tennis court carrying a burden so overwhelming that it would have forced most professional athletes to remain confined to their hotel rooms. She disclosed that Alex had been dealing with what she described as a serious issue in the days leading up to the match. A critical circumstance that fully undermined her ability to perform at her usual standard. This had nothing to do with poor preparation. This had nothing to do with collapsing under pressure. This was about a young woman fighting a hidden struggle that no one in the stands or watching from home could have possibly known about. She wanted to play. Riza cried, her voice cracking as tears streamed freely down her face. She did not want to disappoint the fans who traveled just to see her. She did not want to let down the country that believes in her so deeply. She tried with everything she had to be brave, to push through, to be the champion everyone expects her to be. But she was not herself out there. She could not compete with a positive mindset because the pain, the stress, the weight of what she was facing, it was simply overwhelming. Let those words settle for a moment. Alex Eala, a teenager who has already achieved more than most athletes ever will in a lifetime, walked onto that court knowing she was not at full strength. She knew she was compromised. She knew the odds were stacked against her, yet she played anyway. Why? Because she did not want to disappoint her supporters. Because she felt an obligation to show up. Because she has been conditioned to believe that the show must continue no matter what personal nightmare she may be enduring behind closed doors. This revelation completely reshapes the entire story of the match. What appeared to the casual observer as a poor performance, what critics dismissed as a mental collapse or lack of readiness, was actually one of the bravest displays of heart and resolve we have ever witnessed in professional tennis. Alex Eala was not playing to win that match, she was playing to survive it. She was playing to honor her commitment to the fans who adore her while simultaneously battling a silent crisis that was tearing her apart from within. Think about that for a moment. While we sat comfortably in our homes or in the stadium seats, criticizing her backhand or questioning her shot choices, Alex was out there fighting a war on two fronts. She was battling her opponent across the net, and she was battling a serious issue that had entered her life at the worst possible time. Now comes the question everyone is asking. What exactly is this serious issue that Riza referred to? While the Eala camp has respectfully asked for privacy regarding the specific medical or personal details, and that request must be honored, we can look at the timeline and context to better understand how severe the situation truly is. The life of a professional tennis player is a grind that most people simply cannot comprehend. These athletes are not just competing in matches. They are running a business. They are maintaining their bodies like finely tuned machines. They are dealing with non-stop travel, time zone shifts, different court surfaces, changing weather conditions, sponsor responsibilities, media obligations, and the crushing weight of expectations. And Alex Eala at such a young age is managing all of this while still trying to preserve some sense of normalcy. This year alone, Alex's schedule has been absolutely unforgiving. She began the season in Australia, where she faced not only elite competition but also the controversy surrounding court scheduling that left thousands of Filipino fans unable to attend her matches. From there, she returned home for the emotionally intense Philippine Women's Open, where the pressure of performing in front of her home crowd was immense. Then she flew to the Middle East for the punishing Abu Dhabi stretch. That is a staggering amount of travel, competition, and pressure packed into just a few months. The physical toll of this lifestyle is enormous. We are talking about injuries players often conceal to avoid slipping in the rankings. We are talking about exhaustion that reaches the bone. We are talking about constant strain on joints, muscles, and tendons from striking thousands of balls each week on unforgiving hard courts. But here is what makes Riza's statement especially revealing. She did not simply say Alex was dealing with a physical problem. She specifically said the situation prevented her from competing with a positive mindset. That wording matters. That points to something deeper than a rolled ankle or a sore shoulder. This speaks to the mental and emotional armor an elite athlete must maintain to compete at the highest level. Is it burnout? Is Alex dealing with the kind of mental fatigue that has forced other young stars like Naomi Osaka and even the legendary Ashardi to step away from the sport? Is it a concealed injury the team tried desperately to manage in silence, fearing disclosure would make her vulnerable to opponents or cause her ranking to drop? Or is it something even more personal? Could it involve a family issue, a health scare affecting a loved one, or another crisis they have managed to keep hidden from the relentless media spotlight? RZ's tears offer a powerful clue. Parents of professional athletes do not collapse on national television over minor setbacks. They do not issue emotional public apologies simply because their daughter lost a tennis match. This was a mother watching her child suffer. This was a mother forced to sit helplessly in the player's box, watching her daughter try to be a superhero for an entire nation while knowing her child was vulnerable, hurting, and fighting demons no one else could see. Think about the guilt Riza must be carrying. The guilt that led to that heartbreaking apology. As a parent, your strongest instinct is to protect your child from harm. But in professional sports, that protection is not always possible. Sometimes the demands of the career, the expectations of sponsors, and the hopes of fans create a situation where your child has to go out there and perform. Even when every part of you is screaming to pull them off the court and take them home, Riza feels responsible for the fans' disappointment. She feels as though she let them down by not ensuring her daughter was at full strength. But more than anything, her heart is breaking over her daughter's silent pain. This is a harsh and sobering reminder that behind the Wonder Woman headlines, behind the Nike endorsements, behind the magazine covers and celebratory social media posts, Alex Eala is still just a young woman. She is barely beyond her teenage years. She is navigating a brutal, high-stakes world that chews up and spits out even the most gifted athletes. And she is doing so while carrying expectations that would overwhelm most adults. To truly understand why this moment matters so deeply, why RZ's tears have resonated with millions, we need to look at the broader context of Alex Eala's career and the intense pressure cooker she faces every single day. Alex is not simply another player trying to survive on the WTA Tour. She is currently at a career-high ranking. She is the golden face of Asian tennis. She is a pioneer, a barrier breaker, a symbol of hope for an entire nation desperate for global tennis success. Every time she steps onto a court, it becomes headline news in the Philippines. Every win is celebrated like a national holiday, and every loss, no matter how reasonable or expected it may be in a normal tennis journey, is treated like a national crisis. We saw this pressure firsthand at the Australian Open. Remember the massive controversy that erupted? Thousands of Filipino fans were locked out of Court 13, unable to watch their hero play. The hashtag #EalaNation trended worldwide. There were calls for her match to be moved to a show court. Accusations of discrimination and disrespect flooded the conversation. The situation escalated into an international controversy, and at the center of it all was a teenager just trying to focus on playing tennis. That is an unbelievable level of pressure for anyone to endure, especially someone still early in their professional career. Alex is not just playing for herself. She's not only chasing rankings or prize money, she's playing for representation. She's playing for every young Filipino who dreams of succeeding in a sport long dominated by athletes from wealthier nations with superior facilities and established tennis systems. She's playing to prove that Filipino athletes belong on the global stage, the biggest stages in the world. And to her credit, Alex has carried this overwhelming burden with extraordinary grace and maturity. She speaks thoughtfully in interviews, carefully selecting her words to motivate without setting unrealistic expectations. She actively cautions her fans about false reports and misinformation. She signs every autograph, poses for every photo, and fulfills every media commitment. She understands that she is more than just an athlete. She is a role model, a representative, and a symbol. But today the wall finally cracked. Today we witnessed what happens when the pressure becomes unbearable, when the human beneath the athlete can no longer sustain the illusion of invincibility. Riz's emotional breakdown is the release of months, perhaps years, of accumulated stress and pressure. It is the realization that perfection is not always possible. It is the admission that sometimes, despite maximum effort, despite relentless training, preparation, and sacrifice, the human being gives in. The phrase that keeps repeating in my mind is unable to hold back her tears. This matters because the Eala family is widely respected in the tennis world for their discipline and professionalism. Mike and Riza have created a support system around their daughter that many tennis families admire. They have done everything right. They relocated to Europe to give Alex access to higher-level training. They have carefully managed her schedule. They have shielded her from the worst aspects of the overbearing tennis parent stereotype. For that armor to fracture like this, for Riza to collapse so openly in such a public space, whatever is happening behind the scenes must be extremely serious and intense. This moment signals that we may be entering a new and critical chapter in Alex Eala's career. This is the stage where managing the athlete's physical and mental well-being becomes just as important, if not more important, than refining forehands and backhands. This is where the team around Alex must honestly reevaluate the schedule, the expectations, and the toll this lifestyle is placing on a young woman who is still developing, still maturing, still discovering who she is beyond tennis. The response to this breaking news has been immediate and overwhelming. The shift in public sentiment has been dramatic and frankly, deeply moving to witness. Just minutes before RZ's emotional disclosure, tennis forums and social media were filled with harsh criticism and armchair analysis. Fans were breaking down Alex's serve percentages. They were questioning her shot choices. They They were comparing her unfavorably to other young players. The comments were ruthless, as they often are in the immediate aftermath of a painful loss, but now the tone has completely reversed. Social media is being flooded with messages of support, compassion, and unity. The hashtag #WeStandWithAlex is trending across multiple platforms. Fans who were angry and frustrated just hours earlier are now expressing guilt and regret over their initial reactions. One widely shared comment reads, "I had no idea what she was dealing with. I was so frustrated watching that match, yelling at my screen, questioning everything, but now I just want to reach through and give her the biggest hug. Alex, we're so sorry. We should have known something was wrong." Another emotional message that has deeply resonated says, "Riza, please do not apologize to us. You and your husband raised an absolute fighter. The fact that Alex even stepped onto that court while dealing with this serious issue shows how deeply she loves and respects her fans. We do not deserve someone as brave and committed as her. We should be apologizing to you for the pressure we placed on your family. We will be following this situation minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day. The moment any new information surfaces regarding the nature of this serious issue, the moment we receive updates on Alex's health or recovery timeline, and the moment there is any official statement from the Eala camp or her management team, we will bring it to you immediately. Court Vision Plus will remain your trusted source for accurate, respectful, and thorough coverage of this unfolding story." But right now, in this moment, I want to hear from you. I want this comment section to become a virtual embrace for the Eala family. What is your message to Alex and Riza right now? Are you stunned by this revelation? Did you sense something was wrong during the match, or did this news completely catch you off guard? Do you believe Alex should take an extended break from the tour to fully heal and reset, or do you think she should try to push forward and protect her ranking momentum? More importantly, what does this story teach us about how we treat our sports heroes? Are we too quick to judge? Do we forget that these athletes are human beings with lives and struggles beyond the court? How can we as fans help create a culture that celebrates excellence while also showing empathy for hardship? Leave your messages of support in the comments below. Let's fill this space with the Filipino spirit of bayanihan, coming together to lift those who are struggling. Let's show Alex, Riza, and the entire Eala family that they are not alone in this fight, that millions of people around the world are standing with them, praying for them, and believing in them. If you want to stay informed on this developing story and support independent, in-depth sports journalism that goes beyond surface-level highlights and explores the human stories behind the athletes, please hit that like button right now. That small action helps the algorithm share this video with more people who need to see it, who need to understand what truly happened, and who need to rethink their perspective on what they witnessed during that match. Subscribe to Court Vision Plus and turn on notifications so you never miss a breaking update. We are committed to delivering the truth, the full story, and the context that mainstream sports media often overlooks in their rush to judge. We are praying for Alex Eala. We are standing with the Eala family during this incredibly difficult time. We are sending them strength, compassion, and reassurance that millions around the world understand, support, and will patiently await her return. And we will see you in the next video, where hopefully we will be sharing better news, perhaps celebrating the start of Alex's recovery and comeback. Until then, take care of yourselves, be kind to one another, and remember that everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. This is Court Vision Plus signing off.